Should be on the. Logging yesterday, you didn't do it?
I did it yesterday because my sixth period. I like for some reason.
Class, please. Okay. Let's get started, guys. Let me go ahead and put away your devices. We do have some materials and questions to go through today, so please follow along so you get this material here. 6-4 to 6-7. Okay. So let's get these those notes and questions, and we can finish up. Every 5 will be due by the end of this week, so you got a couple more days to get that done for the week already. I think I gave it out last Thursday. So try to finish that up the next couple of days. Okay, so yesterday we were talking about drugs. Basically, we're talking about addiction. And then today we get into drugs, specific types of drugs, the misuse of them, and then the categories. So I'm going to go through several, but we'll have an assignment where we summarize all these. Basically, what I want you to know is, what the drug is, what class it's in, what does it do, what are the health effects. So the effects, the long and short-term effects, that kind of stuff. And then what class is it in, and what are the potential abuse problems. So when we talk about drugs, there's 2 terms you need to know, drug misuse and abuse. And this goes for over-the-counter and prescription drugs. Misuse is for using it for a purpose which was not intended, which means you're using the drug for, let's say, you're using cough medicine to get high instead of to use it for a cough, right? Or you're using something like ADHD medication like Adderall or Ritalin to stay up and stimulate instead of using it for ADHD. So once again, that's what misuse is. You're using it for the wrong reason. And you can do that for over-the-counter as well as prescription drugs. Now, drug abuse is using too much of any drug. So basically, when the thing tells you to take 1, you take 2 or 3, right? You're taking too much of it. Now, the problem with these things is anything like misuse or abuse can lead to long-term issues like addiction, especially in psychoactive drugs. Not all drugs are psychoactive. Psychoactive ones are the ones that affect the brain, right? And so certain drugs are not. They're not addictive. But we're talking about specifically drugs that have brain effects. Okay. So as far as over-the-counter abuse, when they talk about stuff in this book, it's mostly related to college students, although a lot of it applies to high school as well because this is a college text. It's a college book, right? Over-the-counter drug abuse means using too much, combining with other drugs, or taking it for too long. So once again, you guys are doing that training on Everify, and it's kind of telling you, how to follow a label, how to do appropriate prescriptions, how to not share drugs, how to use your own stuff, like follow the doctor's orders, follow the label directions. You want to stick to that if you can, because when you start veering from that is when you get into problems, okay? So that's over-the-counter drugs. Some ones that are subject to abuse, sleeping pills, people use those for too long, they become dependent on them. Cold medicines, like I said, can cause issues, and diet pills. So those usually have a lot of stimulants in them. So these can be abused, right? All right, so as far as prescription drug abuse, about 6 million over 12 have taken prescription drugs for non-medical uses. So what does that mean? Well, it means taking a drug for which wasn't intended. A lot of people take drugs they weren't supposed to take. So it says 5% use prescription drugs. One of the most common in college is stimulants. So when we're talking about stimulants, well, yeah, a lot of people use caffeine. Why? They want to stay up, they want to keep their energy, they want to study. But a lot of people use these stimulants like Adderall or Ritalin, which are ADHD medications. They take it because they want to help them improve focus, study for long periods of time, right? They're trying to get ahead in their courses. Well, in the long run, that can do things like addiction and health problems. So we want to avoid that. There's other drugs that are abused as well, opiates, things like Xanax, we'll get into those as well later on. All right, so as far as illicit drug use means illegal, right? This means the drugs that are controlled, they're not prescription over the counter, the hard drugs, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, things like that, right? So close to 50% of colleges, students have tried some kind of drug. Some of the risk factors. So this is the risk factors for use, and then the ones at the bottom are for staying away. So positive expectations. So why do college students or high school students use it? Well, they want some kind of effect from it, right? They want to take the stimulants to stay up and study, or they want to use drugs to party, right? So they use it for some kind of effect. They may have a family history or addiction in their family. They may have used it in high school. They may be suffering mental health problems like anxiety and depression. They may be part of a sorority or fraternity. What does that mean? That means probably more parties, more exposure to drugs and alcohol and things like that. Or they may be using it for stress, right? So there's various reasons people use drugs, right? There's all kinds. A lot of these reasons are the same reasons that people in general society use it. Or high school students use it, right? It's the same kind of reasons. They use it either to have fun or party. They use it to cover mental health issues. They use it for stress, right? They use it for various reasons. They use it to stay up and study. They use it to all kinds of things. They use it for all kinds of things, right? So, why do people avoid drugs? Well, because of maybe their attitudes towards it or their parents' attitudes. So, if their parents are okay with it, they're more likely to use it. If they're not, once again, it's kind of the general vibe. Who you hung out with, right? Your belief systems. So some belief systems are outwardly against it, and you'll be less likely to use it. How engaged you are in things like activities and athletics. So once again, if you are more involved in your school, you're less likely to use. So if you're in clubs, if you're in sports, if you're in activities, you keep yourself busy, you're less likely to use drugs than otherwise. Because otherwise, you're hanging around people, you've got a lot of free time, you might be more likely to use drugs. So once again, being aware of the factors that cause people to use or not use drugs. So I have a short video here to show you guys. It's about fentanyl, which is one of the major problems in the nation, basically, this particular drug.
They may look like candy and even our childhood vitamins, but experts say just one of these pills can kill you. They're known as rainbow fentanyl, and they're spreading throughout the nation and across the Bay Area. The latest find in Hayward.
Some of the pills had Hello Kitty or skeleton type designs to it.
This is about 750 multicolored pills believed to be fentanyl, and several other narcotics and contraband found by Hayward police during a traffic stop just weeks ago. Finds, they say, have increased in the past month.
Very small doses of fentanyl can be fatal, and that's what's so scary about these pills, especially given the fact they look like candy. Even young kids could see these and think that it's something that's safe, and it's really very dangerous.
The DEA has been warning the public since late August, asking parents to speak with their children after seizing brightly colored fentanyl and fentanyl pills in 18 states. They believe it's a deliberate effort by drug traffickers to drive addiction among kids and young adults.
My heart sank seeing the Hayward Police Department's post.
Michelle Leopold lost her 18-year-old son to fentanyl in 2020. She says Trevor was a freshman at Sonoma State and died in his sleep after taking one pill. Since then, she's been informing and helping others impacted by drugs.
Even more reason now that these rainbow fentanyl pills are out there, and then today's horrific discovery of the Hello Kitty and grenade and pirates. That's just atrocious, and it's absolutely horrifying to think that they're actively going after younger kids.
The nonprofit Families Against Fentanyl say in the last 2 years, fentanyl fatalities have increased nearly 5-fold in 6 states, including California. Just last year, the Golden State registered more than 5,000 fentanyl deaths.
We have to do more about educating, especially the young adults, and also getting Narcan out there everywhere, because you never know when you might be able to save a life.
Stephanie Magayon, NBC Bay Area News.
All right, so that's one of the drugs we'll talk about, which is a problem, right? We'll get into that for a second. So what are the trends and how college students use drugs, right? So we talked about the misuse, stimulants, also illicit drugs. So what are some of the factors that increase the uses of drugs? Anybody want to chime in on that? What makes it more likely for people to use? Yeah, so they have existing mental health issues, they might be more prone to use drugs. Anything else? Anybody? Yeah.
Family history.
Family history or family issues, right? They might have a addiction in their family, right? They might have abuse, so they're covering up for things, right? Some people use it for those things, right? Because they're dating. Other people use it because they maybe they use it to party. They want to use it for a feeling, right? They want to get high or something. So those are why people use it. Okay. What about when people? Why do people not use it? What are the reasons they don't? It's another one. Like we just gave you reasons why people would, but why people not? Anybody? Yeah. Yeah, the belief system, right? Maybe they don't believe in using certain substances. You got another one?
College athletics.
Sure, staying busy. People who are more in activities, more in sports, things like that, are less likely to use. Staying active and engaged is really a positive for staying away from things. So busy, staying in activities, staying connected with other people, those are really positive things to stay away from. So really those are things that are going to keep you away. Whereas the opposite is disconnection, having mental health issues, maybe having stress and anxiety, those things might cause you to be more prone. Okay? So being involved is a good thing. So, try to get clubs and sports and activities that make you feel like you're involved. You're less likely to do things like that. Okay? Just because the drugs are legal in the community, that say, of course not. Anything can be abused. Anything you can overdose on. I don't know. I will. Right? You take too much of it, it can kill you. So, even caffeine, it's hard to, but you drink too much caffeine, you overdose on that. There's been people who drink a bunch of energy drinks and stuff like that, and they got a heart attack, ruin their kidneys or something. So once again, pretty much anything can be abused to the point where it can cause health issues or injury. So once again, just because you buy it at the store doesn't mean it's safe, right? You have to follow the directions of the bottle or the package or whatever. All right, let's get into the categories of drugs. We're going to talk about the categories and what they are. They're all kind of grouped. The first one is stimulants. So all drugs are subject to abuse. Some are recreational prescriptions, others are legal. So here's the most common ones. Stimulant is a drug that increases activity in the central nervous system. So it speeds you up, right? Makes your heart rate go up, makes you increase, you feel energetic, increased activity, but also things like anxiety, agitation, jittery, nervousness, things like that. So one of the side effects of these is, if you're prone to anxiety, it might increase it. So let's go through the individual stimulants. Cocaine is a powdery form, usually it's snorted up the nose, but it can also be smoked or injected. They used to have it in rock form, we call it crack cocaine. Once again, cocaine is a really potent stimulant, causes brain effects, a lot of dopamine release, gives you a really poor high as a young crash. So one of the problems with these is these people get used to that high, and then when they have a crash, they feel like depressed and stuff, and they want to take more of it, so they keep taking it. And that's how they get hooked to it, right? They get dependent on it. The other classes are amphetamines and methamphetamines. Amphetamines are known as speed, much more common a while ago. People would take it to stay awake and think about things like that. But more common, more recent one is methamphetamine, also known as meth, usually in the form of a crystal. People would actually smoke that. Methamphetamine is a really potent stimulant. Once again, a lot of people get very highly addicted to it, but it's very toxic. When people take it, they get really agitated and jittery, so they scratch at their skin and they grit their teeth and stuff. So they look like they age a lot. They really ages your body because it speeds everything up. So a lot of people take it. They'll look like they're prematurely aged. They have skin issues. They have a lot of teeth issues. Their teeth are grinding all the time. So that's the side effect. Not to mention some of the brain effects as well. Yeah, those are potent. So these three are, actually amphetamines can be prescribed. The cocaine and methamphetamine are the two that are widely used. And those are the ones that are illicit drugs. Now, caffeine, of course, a lot of you have experienced probably coffee, sodas, energy drinks, right? Tea. That all is caffeinated. So when you drink it, gives you, kind of keeps you awake, gives you a little bit of energy. Caffeine in small doses, widely used, probably not that big of a deal. but you can't abuse caffeine, you can overuse it. So if you're drinking like energy drinks all day long, things like that, if you're drinking too much coffee, it can have effects on you, right? It can cause anxiety, things like that. So caffeine isn't harmless, but it's still widely available. It's small doses, like a cup of coffee a day or something like that. Most people seem to tolerate it pretty well, but some people have issues with it. By the way, if you have anxiety and things like that, taking things like caffeine is probably going to make it worse. So just a heads up, if you have that, I would say probably avoid caffeine because it can make it worse. Any of these stimulants can make it worse. So be aware of that, okay? Some of the other effects of these is they can make your heart rate and blood pressure go really high. And so people have been known, if they take the stronger ones, to have things like a heart attack. So that can cause problems. Cocaine's goes up your nose and it's known to ruin your sinuses and stuff. But if you take a lot of them, once again, your heart races really fast. And one of the side effects is it could cause something like a heart attack. So those are the problems. Okay. So what does a stimulant do? Anybody want to throw that out? What's the main thing? What's a stimulant do?
It increases brain activity.
Yeah, so it speeds you up, right? Brain goes faster, heart rate goes faster, breathing goes faster. We talked about the nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, the parasympathetic. Sympathetic is what speeds you up. So when you get, when we talk about stress, you get that rush from like jumping out of a plane or something. That's the sympathetic nervous system. So what it does is it connects that. So when you do a stimulant, it increases brain activity, increases heart rate, blood pressure, all that stuff. So once again, a little bit of that's probably tolerable, too much of that can cause a problem. So health risks, we talked about long-term addiction, issues with the heart, blood pressure, things like that, possible heart attacks, cocaine and things like that, you can cause health issues, methamphetamine, aging, skin issues, brain being falling apart, things like that, so people have that risk. And then caffeine, you can just say, caffeine is pretty mild and well tolerated. However, some people can abuse it, right? They take too much of it. So that's a problem. But it's out there everywhere, right? So many people use it, it's probably 80 or 90% of the population. So, but I would say be careful with it because if you're using drinking a lot of energy drinks because they have a lot of caffeine in it, you have to be careful. That can harm your health, bad kidneys, heart issues, things like that, right? So be careful with those. All right, let's go into marijuana, which is kind of a different category here. The reason is because marijuana has multiple effects. It can be mostly depressant, but it can also have stimulatory effects, but also can be a hallucinogenic as well. So let's talk about what it is and what it does. It's probably the most common illicit drug in the country. Now they call it illicit, even though lots of states have legalized it, which means 21 and over, you're able to go buy it. 33 million adults over 12 have tried it, 22 million use it probably within the last month, which means there's people who take it occasionally, there's people who use it chronically, right? Use it a lot. So here's a marijuana plant. Once again, it comes from the plant. There's different strains. They harvest the plant, chop it up, they extract the chemical THC from it, or they just have the plant and do things like that. So how do people use it? Well, most of the time they smoke it, either roll it in paper like a joint, or they smoke it in a pipe or a tube like a bong. When people smoke it, they inhale it to the lungs, and it's absorbed pretty quick. You get high within a few minutes, 10 to 30 minutes. Also, people eat it too. So I want to point out this, I always do in my classes, they're called edibles. You eat marijuana in the form of like a candy or a treat, like a chocolate or something. Now with this, the problem with that is, first off, sometimes you don't know how much is in there. And second, when you eat marijuana, it takes a while to get absorbed through your system. So when it goes through your stomach, you might not feel it for an hour or two, and you think, well, I don't feel anything, I'm going to take some more. Well, that's a mistake, because when you take extra, all of a sudden it will all hit you at once, and you'll feel like you overdosed on it. And so a lot of people, when they overdose, they can feel things like anxiety, panic, paranoia. You can even have psychotic episodes. So people end up in the hospital when they take too much of it. So that's why you got to be careful, especially with edibles, because when you take too much of it, it can hit you all at once and really give you, like, freak you out, right? So some people have paranoia, anxiety from it, things like that. Their heart starts racing, and you're going to have a heart attack, all that stuff. So the active chemical is THC. THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, is the one that gives you the high, right? There's other stuff in marijuana called CBD, which they sell over the counter. People use that for things like relaxation, sleep, pain reduction, things like that. That one doesn't affect your brain, but THC is the one that does. Now, a real quick word about THC. About 20, 30 years ago, they used to have marijuana and it was relatively mild. These days, they basically genetically engineered it to make it really strong. So realize, guys, that the stuff you're getting today is much stronger than it was 20 or 30 years ago. So my point is, you gotta be careful with it because it's really easy to use too much. So what are the effects of using too much? Well, they think that people who smoke a lot of it can have long-term effects on their mental health. So the people who have like psychotic episodes, things like schizophrenia, and even depression or anxiety long-term. So if you're young and you're using a lot of marijuana and it's really strong, it can be affecting your brain chemistry and have lifelong effects. So you might think, I'm just using it, it's not going to affect me, but yes, it can. It's got lifelong effects on you. By the way, your brains are really young still. Your brains are only like, they're developing into the early 20s. And if you're using a lot of pot, let's say in your teens, then you can have an effect on your brain development. What does that mean? It means maybe your brain won't work as well throughout your adulthood. So, maybe you're okay with that, but you guys got to live another 50, 60 years, right? And you want your brain working or not, it's probably a good idea to just kind of back off the marijuana use, especially if you're using a lot of it during your teens, because your brains are still growing, guys. I would say that for all drugs, alcohol, smoking. You probably want to avoid substances because your brains are still they're still growing, so there's a reason, guys, they make stuff 21 and older. It's not just because, you're old enough to use it, it's also because we want your brain to fully develop, and you should lay off this stuff until you're, decide to do it until your brain develops, right? So heads up, especially for people who use a lot of it, you can have issues with it long term, so just give you guys a heads up on that, okay? So what are some of the short-term effects? Bloodshot eyes, coughing, dry mouth, increased thirst, appetite, some people use it like in snacks and things, muscular weakness, right? Just general malaise, kind of calm. Some people use it because they feel like it calms them down, or they're trying to basically. A lot of people get out of issues. They use it because they stop thinking about things, right? And it calms them down. So, but other people have the opposite effects of it. They might get anxiety, it might make it worse, like panic attacks. So it's different with every person, and then, like I said, there's different types, strains that cause different things with people. So be careful with it, especially with the edibles, because those can get you in a problem really quickly. The other thing is, if you're using this stuff, make sure you're not driving, because it slows you down, and you're basically treated like alcohol. So if you smoke or you use edibles, you shouldn't be using machinery or cars or anything, because you can basically get a DUI from it. You can get arrested because you're not supposed to be driving when you're under the influence. So that goes for alcohol, marijuana, certain pills, have that effect as well. So it's the most prevalent drug detected in impaired drivers, fatal vehicle injuries. So once again, people drink and drive, but if they're smoking or using marijuana and they're driving, it's a problem as well. So don't do that. If you drink and smoke together, alcohol and marijuana, they combine effects. They have a higher effect. So you'll get, if you're smoking and drinking, you'll get even a stronger effect than if you were just doing one or the other. So combining them can be dangerous as well. So just know that, okay? Don't use and drive. Marijuana is long-term use. It contains 50 to 70% carcinogens. So if you smoke, let's say you smoke one marijuana joint or cigarette a day, it's equivalent to, the chemicals in that are equivalent to about a pack of cigarettes. So if you're one of those chronic users and you're using every day, you're getting the same amount as about a pack of cigarettes a day. Just heads up, you're getting a lot of cancer-causing chemicals going into your lungs. You can get things like bronchitis, emphysema, lung cancer, right? So the same kind of things you get with smoking, you get with smoking marijuana, okay? So long-term use increases testicular cancer in males, suppressed immune system, blood pressure, memory, disrupted sleep, etc. So it has these effects on people, right? Now, some people claim they can use every day, and there are some people that use every day, and they don't have a problem. The thing is, once again, it affects your function, and then long-term, some of these, start getting some of these health issues. They're like, well, I smoke it all the time, or I vape it. It doesn't give me problems. Well, you don't know. Maybe 20 years from now, you'll have problems. Who knows? So it's the same thing with smoking, right? It can cause long-term issues. So just be aware of that. It's causing damage as well. Let's say you're the occasional user, and you have a little bit, I'm not going to say it's healthy for you, but it's probably better than somebody who uses every day. That's like, you imagine people who drink every day versus people who drink occasionally, they just have a few drinks. Well, the person who drinks every day, obviously, they probably have a problem with alcohol, they're alcoholic. Well, people who smoke every day, most likely they're addicted to the marijuana, they're going to use it, right? They're used to that feeling, so that's why it is. So So just be aware of that. Medically, it's legal in a lot of states now. In fact, they're probably really close to just legalizing it everywhere. And the reason is because like alcohol, which is so widely used, and they just figured we're not going to control it. Let's try to regulate, right? So you can buy it when you're 21 or over. However, you guys aren't, so there's somebody else to buy it for you, or you go get it off the streets. Now, let me put a word about what you buy off the streets. Unless you really know the person you're buying it from, they found marijuana laced with fentanyl now. So if you smoke it, you could be getting other stuff. So that's the danger, right? So, you don't know. But some people use it for medical purposes, like control of pain, different cancer, glaucoma, things like that. So some people, it does have a medical use in that case. So once again, just because it's legal doesn't mean it's great for you or safe or anything. I mean, you can say the same thing about alcohol, right? Alcohol is legal, it causes lots of problems, okay? So it doesn't mean it's the greatest thing in the world. So we have it legal here, lots of states have it legal. By the way, be aware if you go somewhere, like, let's say you're used to using it here, and then you go to like Texas, well, it's not legal there, so you can still get arrested with it. So people like forget where they're at. Not every state is legal, so you can still have problems in certain areas if you have it. You can't carry it on planes and things like that, right? So, just a heads up, I would say avoid it. Some people just seem to be into it just like any drinking. And if you're going to use it, be safe with it, and don't, try to avoid using it all the time or you're going to cause health issues, things like that. There's another thing called synthetic marijuana. It's K2 spice. They call it Kratom. You can buy this stuff in like the shops where they sell the pipes and stuff. Not a lot done with it, but they think it causes lung damage, hallucinations, agitation. It has weird effects. Some people have had suicidal thoughts on it. So once again, this stuff can be dangerous. It's probably worse for you than actually marijuana is. So I would probably avoid this altogether. So what are some of the health effects of marijuana? Anybody want to chime in? What's short and long term? What do you do? Lung? What does it do to your lungs? You smoke a lot. Dad, marijuana. Give me an effect of marijuana.
Effect of the marijuana could reduce the individual to react and make a decision, and combine with alcohol and the impairment effect.
Okay, so mental issues, right? Ability to think short term is going to affect that. Yeah, so obviously, like, you use marijuana before, like, you took a nap, that's probably where you function very well, right? Short term, combined with alcohol, bad, right? Long term, we're talking about lung damage, cancerous chemicals if you smoke it. You don't want to drive and use, right? So there are side effects to it if you use a lot. If you're using it when your brain's still growing, which your guys' are, we just realize that if you're using a lot of it, you could be causing long-term damage to your ability to think, use your brain, all that stuff. You could be promoting something like anxiety or depression. So you want to end up with mental health issues? Well, using a lot of drugs will get you there faster, just to give you a heads up. The problem is people that have mental health issues, they tend to use more of it, so they exacerbate the problem and make it worse, right? Marijuana is used for medical purposes, pain control, cancer. Cancer patients take it because they want to increase their appetites, things like that. So, guys, it does have a medical use, and that's initially they legalized it for that, for people who want to use it medically. And then they just basically said it's legal for everybody. But there's pluses and minuses to that. I get why they did it, but at the same time, more and more people are using it all the time. I don't know if that's a benefit. You can say the same thing about alcohol, right? We tried to ban alcohol, the early 1900s, you guys learned about prohibition. It was a disaster, right? They had all kinds of legal stuff come up. So they said, okay, we're going to legalize it and regulate it. But does that mean it's great? No, there's all kinds of issues. Crashes, abuse, so once again, just because it's legal doesn't mean it's great. It's not. One of the differences between marijuana and synthetic, just know that. All right, depressants. Depressants are opposite of stimulants, so these things will slow you down. So stimulants will speed you up, depressants will slow you down. So they make you calm, sleepy. A lot of people take it to either go to sleep or they take it to produce anxiety. So Problem with depressants are, though, if you take too much of it, in the case of fentanyl, the reason fentanyl is an opioid, by the way, and it's used to, for people during surgeries and stuff. It takes away pain. But what it does is it's so potent that people can overdose on it really easy. So what it does is when you overdose, it will shut off your heart and your breathing. So if you overdose on this, you'll stop breathing, your heart will stop. And then they have this stuff called Narcan that they can give you, which will help you get out of that. So they have these little pills that they put everywhere for people that overdose because it's so common. Right, by the way, most of the people that are on the streets using drugs, probably 95% of them are on fentanyl. Some of them are alcoholics. Most of them are using fentanyl because it's just so easy to get. Okay, alcohol is the most widely used depressant, okay? But these other ones are a problem too. Can you OD and die in alcohol? Sure, you can get alcohol poisoning. When we talk about that, you can take too much of it and it can literally shut off your breathing and your heart rate. You could also vomit and expire too, so that's the problem. So let's talk about those. On the top here are benzos and barbiturates. These are sedatives that make calm and reduce anxiety. Benzos are tranquilizers, they calm you down. Barbiturates, same thing. On this, I put a picture up here of these little pills. These are Xanax. These are probably the most widely abused in this category. You've heard of Xanax or Xannies. This is what people take. These are bars. The bars each, you see a line, that means there's 4 doses there, guys. So people take a whole bar, they're taking 4 doses. The pills have 2 doses. So wherever there's a line is a dose. By the way, these are used for anxiety meds. They're used to calm people down. But people take them to get high, right? Problem is they're really addictive. And if you're taking them for other stuff, then they can be a problem. Also, they're really easy to overdose on, shut down your heart. And if you're combining with things like alcohol, then it can be a real problem. So people take these things once again, they're abusing them. They're not using them for the right purpose. By the way, people take them for anxiety. Yeah, it works short term, but long term they end up addicted to it as well. So I think these things are really kind of nasty, and they're supposed to be really hard to get off of in rehab, right? You go through terrible withdrawals on them. So these are used to calm people down with anxiety, but people use them to get high. They're dangerous. By the way, when you get this and you see this, somebody tries to sell you something like this on the streets, and they're like, yeah, this is Xanax, it's all good. And then what do you get? Well, you get something with fentanyl in it. That's not good, because if you take that, there's a good chance you're going to OD on it. So once again, when you're buying drugs on the streets and they tell you I'm selling you this, you might be getting something else. They cut it with fentanyl a lot. Marijuana's being put in there, these, cocaine even has fentanyl in it. So a lot of them are putting fentanyl in because it's cheap and it's easy to get. So they just put it in everything. And why is that dangerous? Well, you can overdose on it, right? So there's these other things called rohypnol and GHB. Rohypnol, you might have heard of rubies. It's a pill or a drop. People would put it in a drink. They would sneak it in there, you would drink it, you would pass out, and then what would they do? They try to put it in management. So they call it a breakthrough. So people try to take this and pass out and then take damage. So that's rohypnol, GHB is the same thing. It basically makes you fall asleep. So what happens when you fall asleep? Well, we don't know what happens. Somebody's taking advantage. So once again, you got to be careful because people try to slip these things into drinks and stuff. So those are what happens. The other depressant you got to be aware of is opioids. These are narcotics. By the way, fentanyl is an opioid. It's a very strong one. You might have heard of Vicodins, Percodins, and Percocets, Oxycontins, Oxys, Demerol. These are all different opioids. So what are opioids? They're basically painkillers that people get after surgery, but they make you high too, and they also are very addictive. So what do? Relieve pain, but they slow down your heart and breathing and blood pressure. And the problem with that is stuff like fentanyl or any of these, it's easy to overdose on them and then can kill you. By the way, here's the chart. This one goes up to 2017 and how many people have died. And 17, it was about 50,000 guys that stumbled that down to 100,000. So people overdosing on this a lot. Why? Because they're taking stuff off the streets, they don't know what's in it. Also, a lot of the people, like I said, a lot of the people you see that are homeless and stuff, a lot of them are taking the pills because it's cheap and it's easy, and it's driving the addiction of people on the streets. By the way, a lot of them are overdosing as well, so you can find a lot of homeless overdosing on pills. Now, the talked about rainbow, I believe they show up mostly in a blue pill format, and that's what it is fentanyl. That's what people get hooked on, okay? So lots of deaths, bad news. It's probably, honestly, what's driving a lot of the homeless crisis is a lot of people hooked on these things, right? All they want to do is get pills, they want to get high, and they don't see treatment, and they just, it's a tragedy, it really is. And heroin's another one where they used to inject it, gives you the same feelings. I think most of this has been replaced by fentanyl, but people would take it as a liquid, you inject it, and it makes you like have a drowsy, dreamy, slow feeling. It's cheaper than prescriptions. So here's a problem with these opioids. Early on, they started just giving this out to everybody for pain, whatever, and then people got hooked on them. Well, then they found out they were bad, and they took them away. Well, you had all these people addicted to it, so they went to heroin, they went to fentanyl. And so once again, once you get hooked on these opioids, it's hard to get off. So if you have a surgery like your wisdom teeth taken out or something, they'll give you like a week or two of pills. Those are pain pills or opioids. But then they'll cut you off because they don't want you to get hooked on it. So once again, they're really good at producing pain, but they're also very addictive, so they want to cut you off. Okay? So be aware of these, and guys, just avoid stuff that's on the streets because you're gambling with it. You don't know what's in it. It can be very dangerous to kill you. So what does a depressant do, right? Slows you down. Slows down your breathing heart rate, calms you down. So some of them are used for anxiety and things like that. Alcohol is depressing. We're going to talk about that separately. What are some of the health effects, right? So the risks mostly are basically overdosing and dying. So your heart rate and breathing stops because it slows you down too much. Heroin's, they talk about increasing heroin. This is a couple years ago. Heroin was increasing in certain areas, but now it's gone. And like I said, the fentanyl's replaced everything. Why? It's so cheap and it's so easy to get. It's everywhere. They find bags and bags that are coming up from Mexico all the time. So it's everywhere. It's cheap. It's easy to get. And it's driving the drug problem that's out there. So that's the issue. Okay. All right. So please just stay caught up with your questions. If you can, just like roll. The other thing is this EverFi. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. About 8 or 9 of you are done. The rest of you are either have a couple modules done, and there's 2 people that haven't started yet at all. So guys, if you haven't started this yet, it's due by Friday. So you got today, you got 3 more days left to do it. Okay? So get going. It's turn in Friday or not. It's going to be your first assignment in chapter. Okay? That's it. So finish that up. And yeah, please get that done, and then we'll continue tomorrow. Somebody have 40 out there? Guys. Got 40. Do you have 40? Was it the longest couples there? Yeah, go ahead. It's because this person gets that last period in the spirit. Gotta remember to yell at people who scroll the Chromebooks up. Just want to make them mess them all up. Thank you. Pretty sure. Okay. Right, guys, if you're done working on something else, we'll have a new assignment tomorrow, but if you're not, make sure you get this, this RFI done, okay? We got, about 10 of you for us to work on this. You know, you're not done. I haven't seen these scores for you yet. Let's see if you work. Well, make sure you do the scores. Well, make sure you hit the scores over 70%. She's up next.
Hey guys, this is Austin, and today I'm here with a review of the new Google Chromecast. This is smart box, my extender to improve Wi-Fi signal and help connect.
Hey guys, this is Unbox Therapy.
Hey guys, this is TLD today. I've never been so proud in my life.
Okay, we're here.
Back to the
We're
video.
here for an unboxing video.
Yeah, so these guys, and you guys can check out, they both did videos on their channels.
Right.
They basically completely surprised me. They showed up, I walked out my front door, and this Mac Pro was sitting there, and then these guys pop up out of nowhere, and you guys put on the giant collab of
all time.
epic.
Biggest, yeah.
Yeah, you guys got everybody together.
14 total people.
But guys,
Hey guys, this is Unbox Therapy.
Hey guys, this is TLD today. I've never been so proud in my life.
Okay, we're here.
Back to the
We're
video.
here for an unboxing video.
Yeah, so these guys, and you guys can check out, they both did videos on their channels.
Right.
They basically completely surprised me. They showed up, I walked out my front door, and this Mac Pro was sitting there, and then these guys pop up out of nowhere, and you guys put on the giant.
Audio Jungle.
Giant there. Completely. Yeah. I've never been so proud in my life.
Okay, we're here.
smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and sound.
So we're gonna start.
You never said put your phone here. So that button isn't valid.
So this could be like the first time I said it, could be the third time I said it, could be the fifth time I said it, right? Doesn't really matter, because once the bell rings, we all know that expectation is for what?
But yeah, you're talking though.
Phones away. I can talk in class, and talk, and it doesn't matter if I'm talking, the bell has rang, the phone should still be away. It doesn't mean when I start talking that you are free to do your own will, and take your phone out, and do all those things. It doesn't. It means class has started, and therefore phones are away. Right, Jesus? Thanks, buddy. I like how you disagree. Good job. Alright? Right, Osdale? Yeah. So active listening has started. Thank you guys. I'm glad we got that conversation out of the way. We're all on the same page now. What? Melody? Active listening has started. Side conversations have ended. See, you can crack jokes, but if I make my jokes bad, you guys are going to be all mad at me.
I don't get mad.
You won't get mad?
We're just doing it on my height, 'cause I'm
Exactly.
used to that.
Too easy, I know. It's like a growth spurt. Wait, I can't say a joke back. Is that what you have to really? Because if I can't say a joke back, that means you guys can't say
So let's
jokes.
try this one.
Okay, great. You can't be all sensitive. Like.
Who said I was sensitive?
No, Amber got. She was like, "That's messed up." She said a different word.
So
But...
I messed up at here though.
Oh, dang. So me and Josue, we made a bet. We're gonna arm wrestle.
Hey, man.
If he loses, I gotta bring my hair clippers in and shave his head.
You're lying.
Okay.
I'm
Shave his
serious.
hair?
Shave it off. Zoom.
Hey, can we do your
I
hair
think
too?
so. If he wins, which won't happen, then what happens to me?
I'm still thinking about it.
You cut it with a ball spot?
Who knows?
Or a marker?
Oh, no, you have to buy a wig. You need to wear it from a wig.
Damn. I was still thinking about it.
I already have the wig up there. How much?
No, that
I was still
one.
thinking about
That
it.
doesn't count? It's a cool wig though.
You what? Double wing? I did. You never seen my wing?
Oh.
Yeah, you have to
I'm
put
still
the wig on
thinking
for
about
a
it.
week.
I'll teach her the wig today.
And that's the way I'll set the costume as well.
I'm still thinking about it.
How have you never seen this?
What the hell?
Is that what your hair went?
This is Fluffy,
That's it. Which
but also known as my wig.
Oh. No, you should be wearing it.
Never seen this?
no,
Why are you laughing? You told me to put the wig on, and now you're laughing at me? You not like it?
I love you.
Good, good.
You lying.
I feel like Batista now, I gotta go like. That.
Take it off, man. Take it off.
You don't like it?
No.
I leave it like that the entire
Why?
We prefer the ballroom, Mr. Daniels.
Laura? I look like,
You need like a headband in the front.
Oh, yeah.
you like a little man bun, tied up.
Not a man bun, just like a headband.
Like a head, oh, okay. Is it ready?
No.
Is that bad?
I can't take you seriously,
Put
man.
it how it was before.
How it was before.
Yeah.
Okay. So, time to get serious and start class, guys. So we get your full attention, focus, active listening is on, phone put away.
I think we're focused.
Focus, you focused?
Okay, here.
Well, you know what? At least they can't have any more jokes about my bald spots now, right? Because now it's full head of hair. Snatch that weave off your head. There's no winning with you guys. You guys are just me. I'm realizing that. If I'm just making fun of, me regardless.
You're like Brooke.
Hi, Estelle. How are you? Good. You want to borrow my wig? You sure?
No, he doesn't need it like you do.
This is the only wig I have. This is like, so it's not even really a wig. This is from when I used to have hair, and I found out I was gonna go bald. I cut all my real hair off and turned it into this. So this is my real natural hair. Chris, why'd you laugh, man? I had to go. Come on. I had to ruin it.
Oh, you do it.
Did he have to go out with babies?
Oh, it's like serious.
Let's have this conversation does not mean you can take your phone out whatsoever. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get you started because I know you guys get like bored when we talk or nobody wants to talk. So I'll see y'all. You guys can follow along up here. I'm gonna go over your assignments for today. They're super easy, guys. Some nice little beginning of the clusters. It's always pretty easy. We start off with just straight vocabulary and then build into our concepts that we're gonna focus on throughout the story. So we started with definitions and sentences yesterday. Right? So if you didn't finish that before you move on to today's assignments, so that you already know the definitions. So you already know the definitions of the words. And that was this assignment under Unit 3, Cluster 2, if you were asking yesterday. Have the vocab words, that's a page number on the assignment. And you have to go to page 270, do the definition of each word from the glossary, and then use a word in a sentence. So if you were absent yesterday, do this one first before you move on. Assignments for today that are going to be due is the first one is a quick write dealing with loyalty, which is our central question from this unit. So I'm going to review that one with you guys first, and then I'll post it. What you are doing for this one is quick write. It says sometimes loyalty means staying a fan of your favorite sports team even when they are losing. They got cut off. Even though they are losing. At other times, loyalty means supporting someone in good times and bad. And we discussed loyalty throughout like last cluster, right? So we're continuing on with that. You have 3 questions to answer that go along with this topic. First one is, should you always be loyal? And guys, try to aim for like 2 to 3 sentences for each question, okay? Remember, turn question into a sentence starter, and then give me elaborative sentences. So at least 2 to 3 sentences for each question. Next one, write about a situation that tested your loyalty to a friend or family member. So you're gonna tell me about a time. Third one, what did you decide to do? So based off this situation, tell me how you resolved it. How did you handle the situation? So that's real quick 3 questions you have to answer. Next assignment that you have to do.
That's rude not to answer.
I thought it was probably.
That's so rude.
I get like 6 drinks at any time. Second assignment that you have to do is interactive pages that are to touch up on the definitions we did yesterday. So those are your 2 assignments from 301 slide. Of course, what's on Friday? Okay, fine. Send deal. Okay, second one is interactive, pages 104, 105, where you're just completing your definitions of the vocab words from yesterday, okay? Super quick, super easy assignments today. Make sure you're following along and getting these done in a timely manner. We're moving on. Guys, remember, we talked about this all year. Our pace of the class is picking up second semester. A lot more reading than writing. Follow along with the assignments. If you have not made them up, make them up. I still don't have assignments turned in from last cluster. They don't disappear. Like, you need to make them up. And after 5 days, you only get 50% of the points. So then it affects your grade. Right? Follow along, keep up with the assignments, ask for help if needed, right? But don't put things off, because we're gonna keep moving. And if you keep putting them off, it is gonna be very difficult for you to do reread and full textual evidence, and write 5 different essays at the end of the semester. You're not gonna get caught up on time. You need to follow along with the pace of the class and do the assignments as we do them. Yes, Matthew?
2 assignments is the Power 2.
Power 2 is in full effect today, Matthew. I did those 2 assignments just for you in the Power of 2. Right, I knew 1 assignment wasn't enough. I knew 3 was too many, but I need a Power of 2 to keep everybody happy.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, but sticking with the Power of 2 in Valentine's Day, I need you to bring a partner with you to make sure that you're safe. I'm joking. Of course I'm joking. I'm just being silly. Power of 2. You come what?
Oh yeah, I'll take that example. Power 2. The Power 2. The Power 2.
Yeah, the Power of 2, man.
Come on, the Power 2, right?
The Power of 2 works with many situations, except when the Power of 2 becomes a negative situation. How would you understand that one? Yes, Josue?
We listen to music, sir?
I would think Sammy did his junior today.
Oh, no, we're good.
Oh, no, girl.
Oh,
girl. We're not gonna listen to that, girl. Remember?
Don't get started with me. That's right. I'm not gonna get into you.
I'm good with all blues, sir. Can I, sir, this is my home music. I'm good with no blues.
And I can ask this. Does anybody have any music that they would like me to play today while you guys working?
Anything but your music works.
It doesn't help when you only say negative, right? Many times you're giving a Steve Bowser, right? Then you go to make a positive support or replace love the negative comment, so it doesn't really cause your effect. So then, I really don't like your music because it doesn't help me in my learning moment. would you please type this because this helps my brain learn. So let's hear that. So let's say, here, scholarly answer, please, Ember. Go ahead.
No, you don't like the music.
See?
It's not
I
that.
like that emo music. Right there, that music.
Call me for real. No, you're not allowed to talk.
Here you go, dude. That music was
Exciting. What happened to your jersey?
So, to my answer.
What is it called? Like, hey, what is it called? Oh, you have the recipe for that? What the hell?
Brown butter chocolate chip.
Oh, it's good though. Give me the recipe and just like a make it.
These guys?
Can I take a photo?
You want it?
I'm gonna take a photo. I'll take a photo. Oh my god.
Do you have a cousin named Hector? Oh, I think you can get there's one there, yes.
Caption. Yeah, your own photo.
Thank you, sir.
No, sir.
You are a young adult now. Huh? Are you trying? Are you 18? I mean, technically, you're a young adult. Legally? No. Legally, you have to be 18. Hey, Sue, so you play baseball? How's it going? You enjoy it?
I'm going varsity, right?
When's the last time you were at practice?
Last week, I was in the school this week.
Everything okay? Were you supposed to, go to your game today or no?
Yeah, but I got work later. I can't go.
You guys, coach up? Hey, can you, we did this last year. You print out your baseball schedule, give it to your manager, but they know not to, finish on working on home base. Did you do that?
You did?
Sign out. You're fired. Don't ask to use the restroom again, okay? Alright.
It's okay, bro. I'll sign here for you.
Hey, Andres! Good luck today. Good luck, man. Go get him. What position you gonna play today? Proud of you, buddy. Way to go, dude. That's awesome. You want me to put Fluffy away? You don't like Fluffy? Put it on.
Oh, that's what you named it?
Yeah, but
Fluffy
yeah, put some eyes right here.
Oh, you should have.
Sit down, right down.
Good. A little kid? A little kid. Did you say yeah? A little kid? That's a minor. Why talk about kids up here? Pretty weird. So if you're doing something to a child, you gonna say she likes it? Yep. A teenager. You're 18 years old. Talking about a little kid.
Can you check my assignment, please?
Check your assignment?
Yeah, the quick right.
Are you going to read it?
Yeah.
great. Right now, there's like 30 minutes. I mean, I think one died and there's like several injured. And it was during the sheep story. You should look at it.
I guess he's fine. He's 20. Kinda.
Great job, Matthew. Great job. Right about a situation that tested your loyalty, so I didn't know what that
News waits, it'll always be there later.
So now where we go? No, it won't go anywhere. This is like a text message. It won't go anywhere. You can wait till later. Need help? It's real quick, a quick write. When you get quick write assignments, like 5-10 minutes. I'll make it while you're testing. Just take this question, turn it into a sentence starter, put your thoughts down, and be done with it. Don't drag it on. School, you're learning, man. There's some things I have to really do, and there's some things I just have to get done. This is like a get it done. Put your thoughts down. I'm not creating grammar. I'm not creating spelling. Put your thoughts down. Move on forward. What? What we listen to? Jazz. You always say jazz.
No.
Why didn't you on your phone?
I'm putting music on.
It's been like 5 minutes. Are you going to look up your career music on?
It's because of commercials, you know?
You know?
Yes, sir.
You know what? You listen to a commercial. Pick it. Play this. And let it play. And you know there's a commercial between a song as well. Oh well. Listen to a commercial. You might like the advertisement. Appreciate it. We talked to you. But like lying to me here when I shared that. He wants to challenge me to arm wrestling, and he's gonna lose, and then I gotta shave his head.
What, you want to make me your twin or what? Bald as you?
You can't be bald like this. It's hard work.
No, or maybe just like another 60 years.
These cookies are really good. Alright, let's listen to great song.
I don't think the same.
Okay.
Who can name this singer?
Starts with an S, right?
Nobody?
Isn't it a 19-something?
No, Chrissy. You're Shazamming it. Shazamming doesn't count. It doesn't count. Come on.
I don't know.
Is it in the 19-something? Is it Daniel?
Tired of being alone?
Who sings it though?
No, but who's the singer?
Favorite singer? Al Green.
Who the heck is that?
Al Green. You'll know this. You'll know the next Al Green. This one. Hold on. You know that one? Happiness? after I did
I
all
was
that?
finished the tray.
Oh, of course you did, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your text.
So different than this.
Thank you for forgiving me.
Yeah.
then once you're all done, you can start to clean up. So you turn both assignments in, go ahead. You did not use your class time appropriately, please do this for homework, because we're gonna move on tomorrow. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys too, Friday, it's up here, Friday, we're doing our edge placement test.
Oh.
Okay, so remember, this is a test you want to do your best on to help in placing in your English class for next year. We're trying to, the district, like really working to push students out into gen ed classes more. So you want to do your best on these tests. That really? Good. You guys are mocking. Do I say more now? You guys. So really want to do your best. So get some rest on Thursday. Make sure you're well rested, and then you're able to do well on the edge placement test. Also remember, tomorrow night is Thursday night is
Open house.
Thank you, open house. Who's gonna come to open house? Great shout out. Awesome. Okay, yes, Matthew?
I guess next year I'll have every gen ed class.
That's awesome. That's really good, Matthew. Keep up your hard work, buddy. Yeah?
Extra credit?
Why did you have to give extra credit?
For open house. Oh yeah.
Like, I'd give extra credit. You guys to come down and say
Are you
hello?
gonna be there?
Not a lot of people go.
No, I won't be there.
Oh, so then why should we show
But
it?
you're making it.
Okay, I'm gonna be there. See, I knew I was gonna answer the question wrong. If I said yes, you'd be like no. If I said no, you'd be like, yes, I will be there. I enjoy these things. They're super fun. I like to see your guys' parents.
But I don't think my parents like to see you and your
Well,
mom's
whatever, teach the world, but I like to show up to these things. I enjoy my job. I like to be here. Yeah, I usually hang out, on open house, me, Rose, and Kenny usually get together in one classroom. It's more fun. We just talk to everybody when they come in. So please feel free to come in. If you're like Amber, you just don't appreciate your teacher, you don't have to come.
I don't come anyways, I'm working, so.
Any questions about either one of these things coming up?
No.
Do you know how to say any other words?
No.
That's like all you ever say when I speak is,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna think that your vocabulary is on one word and it's just no.
Oh, I did.
No. No.
Yeah.
That's it, it's great.
No.
No. No, you're still in. I want to advance the announcement, they good? Yes, so I rated it all different areas.
Would it go up?
You wrote no on here?
No.
It's also good.
But would it go up? Maybe. If you're sure it's going fast, I need to get my grade up.
Open exams, assignments in on time. I can tell you some great strategies that whether it's success in here, and that is use class time to do your assignments and turn them on time. You don't have to do that.
No.
But you know, teach their own, like I can only give advice on how to do it. Yeah, that's fine.
No.
I like to draw too after all
But
my
you have
work.
never
Just
Salgo como 3 minutos.
talk on the phone. Go ahead, talk. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt your phone conversation in class.
I don't feel like walking out.